We begin tonight with a new report from Sandag, which shows a big jump in the number of hate crimes across San Diego County. And several groups that work with victims believe the actual number of incidents is much higher. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. CBS 8's Steve Price has been taking a closer look at the numbers and has reaction from organizations trying to make San Diego safer for everyone.
He joins us now live from Police Substation in Serra Mesa. Steve?
Yeah, Carlo and Marcella, San Diego police just made an arrest last week on a suspected hate crime. But at this point, they are believing, according to this report, that it's happening all over the county and is showing no signs of slowing down.
Shots fired from a pellet gun at the LGBTQ plus community in Hillcrest.
A rapid succession, pop, 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 pop.
Anti-Semitic flyers dropped across the county. Graffiti with racial slurs at a Chula Vista elementary school.
This is a crisis.
Fabienne Perloff with the Anti-Defamation League in San Diego isn't the least bit surprised by a new Sandag report that shows hate crimes jumped 39% from 2022 to 2023. In fact, she believes the numbers are a lot worse than that.
And we know that marginalized communities historically do not report hate crimes or hate incidents due to the distrust of law enforcement, or even because they are not aware of how to report a hate incident or hate crimes.
The Sandag report found intimidation to be the most common form of hate, followed by crimes against property and assaults.
I am deeply concerned about the number of hate crimes that have been committed against the community here in San Diego this past year.
Dr. Sarah Brown with the American Jewish Committee in San Diego says the situation went from bad to worse after the October 7th attack last year by Hamas on Israel, and there's no sign that the numbers will start dropping anytime soon.
We need to see our elected officials, our law enforcement, civil leaders, religious leaders, everyone needs to come together and prioritize fighting back. We are America's finest city. We deserve better.
While hate crime saw the biggest spike, shoplifting and prostitution also rose dramatically year over year. On a positive note, murders across the county were down 21% last year, rape down 19%, and burglary down 15%. CBS 8 reached out to San Diego police to get their thoughts on the numbers, but didn't get a response. That said, the ADL tells us law enforcement has been willing to work with them to investigate incidents of hate and protect targeted communities.
Change will not happen if we're working in silos. We need to come together as a community to tackle this issue.
So the big question, why are hate crimes continuing to grow? And I talked to Sarah about that, and she actually believes that social media is playing a big role in this. She says the hate circulates online, but then it leaves online, kind of like what we're seeing now in Springfield, Ohio, where they're having bomb threats. The mayor's having threats to his house as well, all for something that started online but has moved offline. And we're seeing that same type of thing happen here in San Diego.
Thanks so much, Steve. Today, we are learning more about a man who was shot in the eye with a pellet gun outside Rich's nightclub back in May. For years, Eddie Reynoso was a face everyone knew at Rich's, a gathering place for the LGBTQ community. He is a longtime advocate for the community, but after being shot in the eye, he couldn't go back to work. He lost his job and his home. Now he's getting help from the San Diego LGBTQ Community Center's crisis team.
Back, and I quickly realized that I just was not able to go back. The San Diego Gay and Lesbian Center, they've been life-saving for me.
Eddie has been able to stay at a friend's house until his temporary housing is ready. He says the center is helping him get 6 weeks of housing. We are learning that San Diego police have made an arrest in a double murder in Barrio Logan.
This happened Saturday night on Newton Avenue. Police say the victims were an 18-year-old man and a 23-year-old man who were believed to be recent immigrants from Venezuela. Police say they were near a parked car when the gunman opened fire, then stole a Kia belonging to one of the victims. There was a woman in the back seat. She was told to get out. Hours later, that car was found in Los Angeles. The suspect, Guillermo David Gonzalez of National City, was arrested without further incident in Rosemead. He's been booked into San Diego County Jail now on murder, carjacking, and robbery charges. 4 men charged in a burglary and extortion racket in Barrio Logan and Logan Heights made their first court appearance today. Jesus Cuevas, Jahan Monreal, Christian Medueno and Angel Rodriguez each entered not guilty pleas to charges stemming from an 18-month investigation. Rodriguez is accused of attacking skaters with a hammer in Chicano Park. The other defendants are accused of burglary and trying to force business owners along Logan Avenue to pay for so-called security.
These owners would refuse to do so or not agree to the program. Their owners would find that their businesses would be burglarized and vandalized continuously, time and time again.
Bail for Cuevas Rodriguez was set at $500,000. Medueno is being held on $25,000 bail. Monreal was granted supervised release. His public defender says he's a manager for the ACLU.
The family of two little boys killed last year in a police chase have filed a claim against the city of San Diego.
Takes aim at the San Diego Police Department's pursuit policy. As CBS 8's David Gottfredson reports, the claim is considered a precursor to a lawsuit.
The death of two children could have been avoided.
Attorney Robert Hamparian represents the family of 4-year-old Mason Orozco Romero and his 8-year-old brother Malachi in this recently filed claim against the city of San Diego. The boys died in December while riding in a car with their mother and aunt. A 20-year-old driver, Angel Salgado, collided with the family's car during a high-speed chase with San Diego police on Interstate 805 in Mountain View. SDPD made an incorrect assumption that simply by virtue of his fleeing, Mr. Salgado was a serious criminal suspect. There was no need to protect the public from Mr. Salgado, nor any apparent need to immediately capture him, the claim reads.
There are many other ways that you can follow up or track a vehicle. There are eyes in the sky. There are other ways of getting to these folks. Take the license number of the vehicle and track it down. Many other ways that are followed in other departments, and I think this was not the way to do it.
The death of the young boys led to a recommendation by the city's Commission on Police Practices that San Diego police pursuits only be initiated for violent felonies. Then in August, a San Diego police officer was killed during a high-speed pursuit in Claremont, his partner seriously wounded, and the 16-year-old driver also killed.
I feel horrible for the San Diego police officers that were injured and killed. And it's, again, a sad reminder that the victims could be on both sides of the fence. It could be a police officer who's doing his job, but has no other better policy except to follow what there is, which isn't the proper policy.
Current SDPD policy allows a supervisor to call off high-speed pursuits, taking into consideration the seriousness of the offense and the risk to public safety. The driver involved in that police chase, 20-year-old Angel Salgado, is due back in court on Wednesday. He is charged with a string of felonies, including 2 counts of murder. His trial is set for January. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David. The city of San Diego declined to comment because a claim against the city is considered pending litigation. There's still no word on when or if the city will consider a change to the SDPD pursuit policy.
Today, county leaders and health experts are pushing for a new policy to make mental health care more accessible for kids. Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer says she has been working with experts from Rady Children's Hospital to tackle the issue.
Rady Children's has seen a 1,700% increase in emergency room visits in mental health crisis in children. In California, from 2016 to 2020, anxiety or depression in children increased by a staggering 70%.
Lawson-Remer says the new policy will especially help kids from low-income families and those under Medi-Cal. According to a study by the group Children Now, California ranks last in the country when it comes to accessing mental health care for young people.
Local leaders are breaking ground on a new affordable housing community in National City. Union Tower will provide homes for low-income families and veterans. This project will replace 2 16-unit buildings with 2 new contemporary buildings with a combined total of 94 units. We're told 24 units will be specifically for veterans currently experiencing homelessness. The new apartments are set to open in 2026.
An update on wildfires burning across Southern California is still ahead.
Plus, more homeowners face power and gas shutoffs as the land beneath their homes continues to shift.
And a surprise for a teacher in East County helping her students to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.